Hey, it's Steve, aka the Sign Picker, and today I'm going to show you some of the new signs that I just added to my collection. First up is this street name sign for Schultz Road. This one dates back probably to the late 1960s or 1970s. It has beveled edges on the top and the bottom, and that just helps the sign to be more durable in the wind so it doesn't bend. But it also helps with the top and bottom mounting hardware to lock that sign into place. This is a pretty common sign. There's nothing super special about it. There are literally millions of street name signs across the United States. Unless you have some personal connection to that street, a lot of times these signs don't mean a lot. But for me, it was the story behind how I got this sign. I went in to get my car detailed, and after I went to pick the car up, I was talking to the guy who details the cars, and he's a single man business. He works out of this garage with all of this junk all around the inside. And of course, my eye goes straight to this sign, which is on the wall. So I started talking to him about it, asked him where he got it from. He said, I don't even know where I got it from. He does a lot of repossession cars that the city gives to him to detail before the city sells them at auction. And he's thinking it probably came out of something like that. So I started telling him about my sign collection, and he said, oh, you could probably have that one. So we went up, pulled it off the wall, and here it is. At the very beginning of this year, I purchased 5 signs from a lot on Facebook Marketplace. This was one of those signs, and I'll show you some of the other signs I got from that lot. But this one was a pretty neat one that came out of that lot. 5 signs for $50. And this is a 12 by 18 embossed, no parking this side sign. Has a lot of really cool texture on it. When you rub over this rust, it's not actually rough like rust is. It's the same thing on the back. All of this surface is really, really smooth. So it just has some really cool discoloration. Some of the paint is chipped off of the letters, which is really neat. The back, of course, is embossed. Some really cool detail in there. Pretty neat for that to come out of a lot of 5 signs. One of 5 that was $50. This sign here was also in that lot, and this is one of the ones that I did really want out of that listing. None other than it has this really cool snowflake on the top, and I don't have a no parking sign, snow route sign like this yet that has snowflake. These are all over the Midwest, given the amount of snow that we get, but there are many different styles of this kind of sign. This particular one I did not have. Down here at the bottom is a little logo, says HSI. That comes out of Hall Signs Incorporated, based out of Bloomington, Indiana. So again, Midwest representing. It's a really interesting snowflake too. It looks more like a doily that like my grandmother would have on her coffee table or something like that. But you get the point. It is a snowflake combined with the word snow. Pretty obvious there. Normally I see this saying tow away zone. This says tow in zone. So that's kind of interesting. Will be a cool one to put up on my winter wall in November. By the way, if you haven't checked out all of my sign walls, make sure you click the link above and see all of the sign walls that I posted throughout the last few years. This right here is the main driver of wanting that Facebook Marketplace listing. This was one of the 5 signs that was offered. Got some caked on mud on there, or cement or something. I'll have to get that off. But this is a vintage yellow heavy yield sign, which is how yield signs used to look until the early 1970s when the current design was established in the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices. But it does have some bending on it, a little warped up here, has some bending around where it was attached to the U-channel post, probably out there for a really long time, and probably fastened in there really snug. So sometimes the sign will bend inward if it's on a U-channel. One of the things that I had a pretty good feeling about, even looking at the photo on Facebook Marketplace, is that potentially this sign would have a yellow background. And you flip it over and it does have a yellow background. So I was really excited to confirm that once I purchased the listing. And if you haven't noticed, signs today all have the silver aluminum background. This yellow background comes from a time when that's how these signs were manufactured. Current signage is made of reflective sheeting that's applied to the aluminum. These old signs were actually painted front and back. It's not reflective, so when the headlights would hit this sign, it would not glow in the dark to make that sign and that message really visible to the driver. So this is definitely something that was manufactured before today's current standards, which is all about safety and visibility and all of those things. I would say this sign probably came from the 1960s. It looks like at some point they painted the white post that it was on, which is interesting. If it's a U-channel post, you don't see a lot of those posts being white. Nevertheless, it was painted white. They just kept the sign on there. Guessing at that time the bolts and the hardware was a little too rusty for them to take the sign off, so they just painted over it. A couple of rust rashes on the back here. I think this is a really neat sign, and the main reason why I wanted that lot of 5 signs on Facebook. Here's one of the other signs that I picked up from that listing. It's a pretty common sign. The interesting thing about this speed limit sign is the font of the 2 and the 0 is a little taller and a little more elongated. Here's another speed limit sign out of my collection, and if you compare the two, you'll see that actually all of the fonts on that speed limit 20 are a little taller and slimmer than the standard version. The 3 and the 5 is a little more bold than the 2 and the 0. And the corners of that black border are a little more curved on the speed limit 20 than the speed limit 35. So even though this is a pretty common message, you see speed limit signs all over the place. What's special about this one is the variance in typography and the font style as compared to the current standard. This one's just got a huge gash right down the center of the sign. It almost looks like maybe that's where the mounting post edge was. And I don't know, something happened there. It got hit, or there it popped a little bit. Pop that back. There you go. It's a little dirty, need to clean him up, but common sign, but cool layout. The last one that was part of that auction was a stop sign, which again, like the speed limit sign, sort of a dime a dozen. Stop signs are all over the place. This is the current design of the stop sign. The only difference here is that this sign has the honeycomb reflective surface, which you can see from the honeycomb pattern. The only thing that's interesting about this sign, interesting to me, I know I collect signs, so it might not be interesting to you, but this sign does have 4 holes posted on the sides, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I don't know, based on the markings on the back, there's some rust here. This might have been posted on a fence or something like that, like a chain link fence, and they use these holes to further secure the sign, because you can't stick a bolt through those holes. They're much too small. This is the standard size here on the top and the bottom. The other thing that's a bit interesting is down at the bottom here, it has a V and an S. I'm guessing that's the company that manufactured the sign, possibly the sign company. I showed you earlier that parking sign had HSI. I'm familiar with HSI. I'm not familiar with a company around here in Indiana that's VS. So this sign might have come from out of state or from another region, but anyway, stop sign. Okay, this one is interesting. It is not a street sign, but it's sort of designed to look like a street sign. And it's a hazardous material signs to release bucket. Well, what's missing here is the actual bucket, but there are brackets that would hold a bucket in place, which includes material that would assist in cleaning up spills or hazardous waste. It says here that the bucket is out of stock. You can go online or call. It gives you the part number to reorder the bucket, which I did go and look online. That bucket is still available. It's like 50 bucks. So I don't think I'm going to replace the bucket just to complete the sign, to make this thing a little more bulky to store in my collection as well. But again, it's not a street sign, but I thought it was pretty neat. I got this thing for 5 bucks. So it was sort of an impulse buy. Cool yellow background on that thing too. All right, here's one that's pretty neat. I drove about 40 minutes from my house to go get this sign. This is a double arrow warning sign that would be placed at the end of a T intersection. Normally at the end of a T intersection, a double yellow arrow is on a long rectangle. But I've actually seen this style around Indiana, in particular counties out in the country that use a design just like this. What's really interesting to me about this one is marked from the city of Chicago. And if you've seen any of my past videos, you know that I love any of these signs from the Chicago Department of Transportation, which labels its signs with the city of Chicago at the bottom. Got a lot of sunburn. It's been out posted for a really long time. And again, this was a Facebook Marketplace listing. A lot of times those listings only show the front of the sign. But being that this is a city of Chicago sign, a non-compliant layout, in my mind, I'm thinking, hey, there's a good chance that this might have a yellow background on it. So I went to pick up the sign, flipped it around. Sure enough, yellow background. Again, signs typically don't have a background color that matches the front of the sign. You can see where this thing was posted. I'm guessing it was posted to like a light pole or something that has these square markings where the washers were. It looks like there was some kind of bracket here as well. It's got some bumps. I don't know what that is. Actually, that's some kind of a spider nest or something like that. So think those spiders are mummified by now. So I'll clean that up. Really neat, worth the 45-minute drive to this guy's garage to pick up this sign. I'm really glad I was able to find this one. Finally, this sign, picked this up 2 days ago. Really big, no smoking sign. Cool, kind of a lot bigger than you would expect a no smoking sign to be. But let me give you some context. This is a sign that is posted at the entryways of the roads that lead into the campus of this university. So it is an outdoor sign. They're promoting that it's a total smoke-free campus, so no smoking outside. And they still do have these signs posted at this university. The interesting thing about this sign is the logo in the lower right-hand corner. And again, this is a very local, regionalized thing that's probably more appealing to me. That stands for Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. That university is no longer a joint between Indiana University and Purdue University. A few years ago, they separated, and now it is known as Purdue Fort Wayne. So that is the old logo of the university. In the last few years, they've been going through and rebranding everything, including where the logo appears on the street sign. If you go on my Instagram feed, you'll see a post where I picked up an IPFW sign that would almost be like the equivalent of a route marker. It's a square 24 by 24 sign, which serves as wayfinding in order to navigate to the university. So that stood out to me. The logo, it also says Indiana University per University Fort Wayne, has IPFW here as well. It's got a URL on it if you want to know more about their tobacco-free initiative. Just an overall neat sign. I normally wouldn't go for something like this, but because it has the old logo on it, I thought it was neat. It says IPFW multiple times throughout here. I thought the little attention to details, all those details that matter. I love how they put the little no sign as the O's in the word tobacco. Thought that was pretty neat. What I've noticed around this university is they've taken a lot of the old signage down that had the old logo on it, and they stripped it down and resurfaced it and created a new sign out of it. They recycled it. This one, I don't think they were able to do that with, because when I look at these holes, which are used to mount the sign, those holes have been ripped open. So I don't know if this one blew off the post or some other way got damaged enough that they were not able to use this piece of aluminum to create a new sign. So ended up in the trash pile. Now it's in my collection. Turning around, white background. I've just been really lucky with these color background signs that I've been getting here in 2025. So was pretty excited about that. Okay, that's it. We are off to a good start this year in my sign shop. Those are all the new signs that I picked up so far this year. But I'm going to continue to post videos throughout the year featuring new signs as well as existing signs in my collection. If you want to follow along, please subscribe. If there are any ideas that you have on signs that you want to see or walls that you want to see me build, please drop those into the comments. Or if you have any questions, please drop those into the comments as well. If you like my posts, if you like my videos, that'll really help in delivering my videos to other people just like you that might have interest in this sort of thing. So that's all I have today. I'll see you in the next video.